another Yamamomiji, so another Japanese maple, just the regular kind. This one, just same as the other one. They're both from Danuyuzu, by the way, so I did not start this one from seed because these are like 30 years old, both of them. You can see by the nice white trunk, the bark is starting to really get its color. I love this. I did like a really big trunk chop last year, and now I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor because now it has like more movement to this side, and I'm really stoked with this. I am going to do a summer pruning in like a week or so in order to get light to hit the inside of the tree so everything doesn't die off and I don't like get this umbrella with just like foliage on the outside. Yeah. This little Sabina Juniper is also Yamadori. It's actually one of my most expensive trees in the garden, or the one that cost me the most. It was an awesome little tree. I styled this like 2 years ago, I think. I'm just going to let this one grow because, well, it has a lot of nice growing tips, and I just want to keep it that way because junipers, the strength of junipers is in the foliage, so we want to like ramp it up with vigor, and then afterwards, when it gets too long or anything, we'll cut it back. But that's all I'm gonna do. I'll probably cut some of the long extensions back in fall, probably, if there are any. It's growing nicely, but again, it's all very balanced, so if you don't need to cut, just don't cut, because the less you disturb your trees, or the less stress you give to your trees, the better. So I'm just gonna let it grow, and I'll see, maybe in fall I'll just do a little tidy up, but looks good to me. The people that are following along with the videos, you all know this one. The Deadwood is still not fixed. I'm just waiting for the perfect moment to do that. So I had a lot of extremely helpful tips from you guys, so thank you again for that as well. I'm just going to leave this one alone until I really know what to do with the Deadwood. Then I'm gonna fix the Deadwood, and that's about it. This tree was styled this, well, I think February somewhere. Yeah, begin February. So I'm just going to let it grow again, let it grow out, gain vigor, hopefully thicken some branches, because if you thicken the branches then the wire bites in a little bit, and on conifers we kind of want the wire to bite in a little bit because that solidifies the structure that you want, the wiring. So that's what I'm gonna do, and then hopefully fix this one, and yeah, that's it for this tree. It's a Sabina Juniper from Spain. I really love the Deadwood, but yeah, as we all know, stuff happens. This little tree is a Burberthuria. Really love this tree, but it's in dire need of some pruning. Well, not real pruning, because it's not like growing out excessively. I just really need to address the little leaves that grow everywhere and the little shoots that grow everywhere, because I don't want branches everywhere. So this just needs a little TLC. So I'm just going to like prune it slightly, just remove everything that I don't need, and then for the rest I'm just gonna let it grow. Do really have to be careful with this one because it has spikes everywhere, and they're so small that if you get one in your skin and you don't feel it, it'll get infected. And so, but extremely lovely tree. This was an urban dory, and this has a lot of symbolism to it because it's like two trees holding each other in the wind. It's a windswept tree, and these are actually two trunks. So two trunks wrapped around each other and holding each other tight in the wind. This actually symbolizes my relationship between me and my wife, so awesome little tree. Yeah, another Texas Bacata. This one was actually in the pot straight up. It was a really straight tree. I made this Deadwood all by myself. The lifeline was also created, was also artificially made. I really did not know what to do with this tree. It was just like a tree that I bought for not that much money. It was I think 15 bucks or something. It was a throwaway tree, and I have the knack for like, I have like the bad habit or habit of thinking, well, if you don't want this tree, maybe I'll try to I try to save as many trees as I can. And I had it for about a year, and after a year of contemplating, I was thinking, well, maybe it's time to do something with the tree. And I just turned it upside down. I flipped it upside down for a year in a pot, and then afterwards I styled it this way. So I'm really happy with what actually became out of that tree, because it was just a stick in a pot. And look at the health of it. I mean, really awesome. I will be doing like the pinching is, I'm going to wait like a week or so, and then I'm going to do the pinching, which actually just means that I'm going to get rid of all the old needles and then pinch out the pieces that I don't want. I pinch it back to the silhouette. I might do a video on that. If you want to see a video on that, please just comment in the section below. Also, just comment in the section below about any tree or any thing you want to see, because then I actually know what my viewers want to see. If you have like questions or something, then I can help you out, and I'll just make a video about it. And then yeah, it's a win-win. It's a win-win, because you get to see what you want to see, and I know what I have to make a video about. So comment in the section. Let's help each other out. So yeah, when I'm going to work on it, I'll have to like remove the old wire and then wire it again, because it's really holding the pads because of all of this foliage. But this also means that it's growing really fast, so I have to like remove the wire and just wire it one more time maybe. And then I think after one more wiring that this tree is going to be like perfect, that this tree is going to like hold the movement in the branches very well. So looking forward to this in a week or so. My Cascade Texas Bacata, had to put it on the stand here. Sometimes it is a hassle to like deal with Cascade trees, because they tend to like be unpractical in moving and stuff, but this one is okay. I mean, I only have one or two, so then it's no big deal. My Texas Bacata. Well, I kind of hope this tree isn't a stranger either. If you haven't seen the video on pinching pines or pinching single flush pines, go check this one out. That's where I redistributed the energy for this tree. The energy is already redistributed, but like I have longer pieces, or pieces that I kind of left to grow, and also pieces that, despite the pinching, sometimes like this piece, when you pinch, I've been pinching this for 2 weeks or something, or 3 weeks, I don't know. And every time you pinch, you redistribute the energy. So energy that was going to the stronger parts now goes to the weaker parts. So this means that the weakest parts now also have extended, and I'm not going to pinch them anymore because this is too late. And these pieces, so the pieces that I left to grow and the pieces that have extended beyond what I actually want to use, I am going to cut in post-flush hardened pruning, of course. But this is going to be like a very small or a very insignificant cut, because I'm just going to remove a few needles. Because I pinched, this has like a much better distribution of energy. And so I will be doing 2 techniques to the tree, yes, of course. So I will be working twice on this tree, which means more time and more stress to the tree, yes, but the amount of stress is always like distributed through time, or divided through time, and it's always a small amount of stress. The pinching is a small amount of stress, and the post-flush hardened pruning is a small amount of stress. So it is actually better to do pinching and cutting, post-flush hardened pruning, instead of just post-flush hardened pruning, because your energy is better redistributed, and the stress is also divided through time. This is actually a field-grown pine, not a Yamadori, also from Danuiza, who did an excellent job with the trunk and everything. I did the rest. So, lovely little tree. This is Omorica. So, just like I mentioned before, this is surprisingly, it's such a surprise that it's such a good species for bonsai. I styled this one this winter, or the end of winter, somewhere end of January or something. And what I'm going to do now is just again just let it grow. The distribution of foliage is also, I mean, it's not that I have to pinch it a lot or something. There's nothing that I really need to pinch right now, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it, and I'll probably be unwiring and rewiring this in fall, and then probably I'll do this every year for about like 3 to 4 years, because Picea omorica doesn't really hold the shape very well. So it's a lot of wiring, but trust me, it's really worth it. I can't wait to see the future of this little tree or forest. This is gonna be awesome. This is a tree featured in my last video about how to prune maples. This isn't a Japanese maple, but this is a Emmer Maple, so Acer hinola. And this is a tree that you should not confuse with a trident maple, because a trident maple you can defoliate. I know in my video I say you shouldn't defoliate maples. It's true, you should never fully defoliate a maple, except if we're talking about trident maples. Then defoliation or complete defoliation is not a big issue if you keep track of how many times you did that, and if you don't like over exaggerate, don't do it too much. Now this one, it's a very strong tree. I mean, seriously, it grows like crazy. I have 3 of them in the garden, and this one was one of those garden trees. I chopped it completely. I chopped it off, so it had to go. I mean, there was no room anymore for the tree, so I had to like chop it, and I did a trunk chop here, and then I made this deadwood. I put some sphagnum moss inside of this crack, because then, due to the moisture, the sphagnum moss would like really deteriorate the inside, and it would look very natural. I also burned this. I did a lot of techniques in order to like get it more compact and natural, but I think the sphagnum moss technique will help out the most, because it will become more natural. Now, this tree has been wired once, and now it is actually, well, post-flush hardened pruned, so it's ready for the rest of the growing season. And if you want to see the video on that, just check it out. It's up top here somewhere. Awesome tree. Very grateful, because it grows like crazy, and it actually thickens up really fast. So this movement that you see in the branches, it was just through wiring it once. So really awesome species to work with, and the colors that these have in fall is like more it's not really red, it's more purplish rainbow color. So I really love Emmer Maple. You're probably tired of me saying I really love all the species, but I just do. I mean, it's just bonsai is just such an amazing little art form. I mean, it's just, yeah, it just does something to me. I can't describe it. It's just, that's just the way it is. Yes, the rhinoceros. The rhino, I'm not sure if I think I already mentioned this tree in another video. If I didn't, then this is the first time. I'm going to style this one, I don't know, in a couple of weeks, whenever I think it's ready. Well, normally I would, this has to come off completely, or maybe if you guys think I should leave it and make a tree out of this. I also have one here. I don't know if you can see this, but I also have one here, I could make an entirely different tree. I mean, I could just make this into 2 trees, and I'm really doubting, because it would bring more visual or positive mass, and it would like make this into like a bigger whole, but it'll take me a long time to make this into a tree. Nevertheless, I also thought that this would take me a long time because it was the same width, and it really didn't. So I mean, I think I've been training this for 3 years now. I mean, real training, like wiring and stuff, for 3 years, and it was almost as thick as this one, just a little bit slightly thicker. And this is completely new. I mean, I don't know if you can see this, but this is just completely new. This was a bud last year. So something in me is telling that maybe the tree wants this, but then it was the rhinoceros because it has like 1, 2, 3 horns. And if I let this one here grow, then, well, it will not be the rhinoceros anymore. Not that it matters, but yeah. Let me know in the description what you guys think. Maybe make a new tree here. I will be doing something with this, that's for sure, in a week or 2, or maybe a month. I don't know, I'll see when the tree is ready. But I won't take that long, because I need to like wire it and make it crisp. Just a little origin about this tree. This was standing up vertically. This was standing up vertically, and these are actually roots that were in the ground. I just planted it this way so that I could make advantage of this beautiful little deadwood, and I figured if I make use of this deadwood, why not make use of the roots as well and give it more interest. Yeah, I'm really curious to see what this is going to be, and also curious to see what you guys think, if I should like make a different tree here. I'm really doubting, for real, because I think it would like elevate this tree even more. Right now it has a very asymmetrical way of growing, which is awesome. We look for asymmetry, of course. We do not want symmetry because that's boring, but I don't know, I think I can make it just have that little bit more if I can make a new tree here, but we'll see. Okay, so I kind of think this one is really cool because this tree was actually on top of this tree. Something like that. So this is actually an air layer from this tree. So this top, it was here, and I just put this one in the ground for like 1 year, and that's why it's almost the same thickness. But yeah, just a regular Japanese maple maintenance that I'm going to do. Just small. Well, this one I'm going to post flesh harden prune, and this one I'm just gonna let it grow. I have to decide what to do with this fall. Definitely stay tuned, because this fall I'm going to do like a maple special, so to speak. That's the time when I work the most on my maples, like wiring and the most of the biggest prunes I do in fall, after the leaves fall off. So that's why I'm going to do like a lot of maples, so stay tuned for that. This one is Sangokaku, also very interesting. Love the bark. This is already a pretty old tree. I bought this one, like, I think this was my first maple, and I bought this one, it was like yay big, in a small white pot, like from a nursery, like beginning nursery, a garden center where they sell like bonsai, you know, the bad bonsai, and there was a maple in between. So I bought this one. Did not know what species it was until like a year afterwards, and I was really happy that it was Sangokaku. And it's like really white now, and the branches in winter become this beautiful reddish color. So I'm really stoked with this. I have a small shishi gashira here. This is what happens when you put a tree like in a box for like 2 years. This is 2 years of growth, just this, because this is I'm going to like air layer this off, but this is 2 years of growth. The rest is going to be my tree, so this I'm going to use, and this is going to be my top. And as you can see, I have quite a lot of movement, and if I thin this out, there will be a lot more movement in it. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to like air layer this off this year. I should have done it by now, but I'm still waiting on my sphagnum moss and growth hormone. So I will be doing this like in a week or something, and then I will be cutting this away whenever I see roots. I mean, it has to be a lot of roots, enough to hold all of this. I'm going to cut away some of the branches, of course, when I cut away the air layer, because, well, I'm not going to need this. So I'll probably air layer this off and this off as well, because shishi gashira air layer is really easy. I could have just done this with like regular soil and no growth hormone, and it probably would have worked. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to take the risk, because I really want this tree. I mean, I was just saving this. It went, and I went with it. The tree just started growing, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to use it, but I am going to let it grow, because this was a wound that healed up really nicely. Here there's a wound to the back that really also healed really nicely. And this was actually a tree with like 5 or 6 trunks, and I had to like cut away really really severe, and it has big wounds. But if I let something grow like this, then the big wounds will close. So that's why I did it, and I don't want to waste this, because this is an entire tree in and of itself. So I'm going to air layer this off. Shishi gashira, lion's mane maple, lion's mane Japanese maple. Very tight and compact growth. This is going to be only yay big, so it's already showing signs of age, the white bark here. So can't wait to like really start working on this tree, and hopefully when I air layer this off, this is going to be the time that I, well, do like a first wiring, if ever, because the branches are really brittle. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to wire this that much, but at least start with the real styling of this tree. So good. It's so good.